Society Behind Wow is a small initiative taken by Shoobhaa Arya to awaken us spiritually. It's a journey of learning and unlearning. I'm Dr. Mehta, your host for the evening on the season 2 of Society Behind Wow. To awaken yourself spiritually means to recognize your true self, the soul. The soul is said to have awakened when one realizes the self. We are all in the learning process and we all make mistakes. It's time to wake up, to realize where we are going wrong and to correct that.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Anu, for this lovely introduction, helping us to realize the power within us and how we can channel that for our own good and be open to receiving the divine energies in our daily routine of running aimlessly to make money and look after our image with fakeness in the world. We have lost our true self. Some call it rabbit hole spirituality. We are constantly falling into endless rabbit holes of new trends, exciting practices, and sparkly feel-good philosophies. Self-realization is the knowledge and the embodiment of our true nature or the higher self beyond the ego. So this journey of Society Behind Wow is learning to unlearn, where we share our daily routines and life experiences to learn and grow from each other. Anu.
So with a warm welcome, let's welcome both the guests today. And let's begin with Debrita Paul. Debrita is a renowned visual storyteller, canvas dancer, handloom designer, theater actor, and an Odissi dancer who has been recognized as one of the 50 top young artists of India. Recently, he received Rashtriya Kala Samman for his unique style of work by the government of India. He was awarded by Dr. Kiran Bedi. He collaborates with musicians, dancers, and other artists to live paint these interpretations of their performances and styles. He also does dance side by side and paints through his foot. He has performed internationally on various occasions and with a number of recognized Indian classical musicians and dancers. Debrita, I can go on and on and on and on with your profile, and it's a beautiful profile. But I would really like you to tell me a few things. I would really like to understand, what do you mean by, a visual storyteller, canvas dancer, a handloom designer? There's so much. If you can briefly give us what that means. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anuji, for this wonderful welcoming. And thank you so much, Shoobhaa Arya ji, being me a part of this forum. And आज जो है question that is about visual storyteller. Actually, visual storyteller is nothing but it's the kathakar. It's a sutradhar. So it's about the interlink between the dance, music, and art. So it's a unique style of art form, जो कि ना कि आपका डांस का फुल फॉर्म लेता है, ना कि आर्ट का फुल फॉर्म लेता है, ना कि म्यूजिक का फुल फॉर्म लेता है. इट्स द कनेक्शन बिटवीन थ्री फॉर्म्स and combine is a storytelling factor of what inside the artist. So ये visual storyteller है. जैसे ये जो visual storytelling है, कथाकार का प्रस्तुति है, it's originate from the dance, it's from the नाट्य शास्त्र. So it's from the one portion of the dance जो कि हमारा नाट्य शास्त्र का 12th chapter में है, चित्राभिनय. So it's derived from the there. So it's about the visual storytelling. और इसमें कैसा होता है ना, जो आर्टिस्ट का रस है, भाव है, और उसका जो प्रक्रिया है, तो सब एक फॉर्मेशन में दिखाई देता है, चाहे वो स्टोरी टेलिंग के फॉर्मेशन में हो, चाहे वो कलर के फॉर्मेशन में हो, चाहे वो डांस का मूवमेंट के फॉर्मेशन में हो. सो इट्स कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ द ऑल थिंग. सो इट्स अबाउट द विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग.
बहुत बढ़िया देवव्रता. अच्छा, ये भी बताइए हमें, आप बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ स्टेज शेयर कर चुके हैं. अगर मैं ये सारे नाम पढ़ने लगूंगी तो रात हो जाएगी, इतने सारे लोगों के साथ आपने काम किया है. तो आप कुछ लोगों का खुद ही नाम लेके मुझे ये बताइए कि आपका सबसे बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस क्या था, किसके साथ? शुक्रिया.
एक्सपीरियंस तो मतलब इलियाना मैम ही इधर हैं, तो हमारा मुंबई में एक फेस्टिवल हुआ था जो उड़ीसा सोसाइटी ने अरेंज किया था। उस टाइम में मुझे बोले थे कि इलियाना मैम जब छऊ का परफॉर्मेंस करेंगे, मैं एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म ऑफ आर्ट में करूंगा। तो मैं वहां पे उनका एक फॉर्म लाने का कोशिश किया था। दैट विल बी वन ऑफ माय बेस्ट पार्ट एंड माय ग्रेट ऑनर कि मैं इलियाना मैम के साथ उस दिन किया। वी मीट स्पेंड टाइम, मीन्स उस दिन टाइम स्पेंड किया, और मुझे अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए मिला कि उनका जो स्टाइल है, उनका जो मोशन है, उनका जो एक यूनिक एक फॉर्मेशन है ओडिसी में, तो वो मुझे अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए मिला, उनका ऑरा अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए मुझे मिला। एंड उनका जो डांस के बिहाइंड का रीजन रहता है, उसमें से जो सूत्र कनेक्शन रहता है चारों दिशाओं में, सो वो मुझे कनेक्शन मिला था। इट विल बी ग्रेट थिंग। एंड अनदर थिंग विथ हेमा मालिनी जी, पद्मश्री, उनके साथ मैंने जो किया था, आई वॉज कम्प्लीटली स्पेल बाउंडेड। जब स्टेज में मुझे गंगा के नरेंद्र मोदी जी का गंगा अभियान में मुझे एक किरदार के रूप में मिला था, उस टाइम में लाइक मेरा जो विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग फैक्टर था वो इवन गवर्नमेंट को भी पता नहीं था। उनको लगा था कि ये बंदा एक लाइव पेंट करेगा, जैसे मोस्टली जेकेबी के आर्ट कॉलेज या हमारे बॉम्बे के आर्ट कॉलेज से पास आउट होके करते हैं। बट व्हेन द लास्ट मोमेंट दे नो द थ्योरी बिहाइंड इट, द कंसेप्ट बिहाइंड इट, इट ओनली द मीडियम, द कलर्स, बट इट्स नॉट अबाउट द पेंटिंग। ये पेंटिंग नहीं है, ये डांस का ही एक जिस्ट है, ये डांस का ही एक कलर है। सो सबको बहुत अच्छा था। एंड हेमा जी इमीडिएटली उसको अपने घर लेके गए थे। अभी भी धर्मेंद्र हेमा मालिनी जी का पेंटिंग के साथ मेरा पेंटिंग उनके घर में है, जो मेरे लिए बेस्ट मेमोरी है अभी तक का।
वाओ, सुपर
तो
सुपर
कुछ नाम भी बता दें हमें कि आप किन किन लोगों के साथ आपने काम किया है। जैसे मैंने कहा कि लिस्ट इतनी लंबी है आपकी
हाँ
कि
हाँ।
मैं पढ़ती रह जाऊंगी। आप कुछ जरा अगर नाम खुद से बता दें कि इन इन लोगों के साथ आपने काम किया है, तो पीपल विल नो कि आपने इन सब के साथ काम किया है।
नो, इट्स रियली ग्रेट। कभी कभी खुद को किसके साथ काम किए हो बोलना इतना कंफर्ट नहीं लगता, बट मैं गिने चुने कुछ लोगों के साथ बोलता हूँ। जैसे अमिताभ बच्चन जी हो गए, जैसे सुजाता महापात्र हो गए, एस अवार्डेड, और जैसे पद्मश्री कैलाश खेर जी हो गए, एंड सो मेनी आर्टिस्ट, जैसे हेमा जी हो गए। जैसे आई मीन्स स्पेशली डू वन आर्ट फॉर चीफ मिनिस्टर ऑफ उड़ीसा नवीन पटनायक, उनका उनको दिया था एक विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग जगन्नाथ के ऊपर हो गए। इवन बैंगलोर के प्रिंसेस हो गए, जया पलाश यानी उनका, उनके साथ एक राजपूत घराना के साथ करने के लिए मौका मिला था। उसके बाद फिर मुझे जयपुर पैलेस में इनवाइट किया गया था, उधर राजपूत घराना के साथ करने के लिए कुछ काम करने के लिए मिला था। इट्स अबाउट समथिंग बियॉन्ड द वर्क, and many more artists from India, not only India but also from the abroad. I worked with many organization. अभी मेरा जैसे रोहिणी दंडवती अपंग के साथ ट्राइबल आर्ट के ऊपर एंड उनका म्यूजिक डांस के ऊपर रिसर्च वर्क का काम चल रहा है। इट्स अबाउट समथिंग डिफरेंट, इट्स अबाउट so many things about me, and it's means a lot for me. And last time जब मुझे राष्ट्रीय कला सम्मान मिला, उस टाइम में भी मैंने किरण बेदी जी को एक ऑफर किया था प्रेजेंटेशन। तो वो क्या किए ना, उसमें मेरा नाम लिख के, सिग्नेचर लिख के मुझे भेंट किए, बिकॉज बोले कि ये जो आप मेरे ऑरा को लेकर किए हो, इट्स एक्चुअली अबाउट योर ऑरा, जो आप मुझे दे रहे हो। आज मैं इसमें मेरा एनर्जी एंड ऑरा एडिशन करके आपको गिफ्ट करता हूँ। एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, लेजेंडरी गुलजार सर, जिनका पोइट्री का एक करके दिया था, एंड वो 3 लैंग्वेज में मेरे पहना हुआ दुपट्टा में इतना खुश हो गए कि मैं जो दुपट्टा पहना था, आई डोंट हैव पेपर, सो बोले कि लाओ मैं तुम्हारे दुपट्टा इतना पेंटेड है, उसमें ही लिख के कुछ दे देता हूँ। सो बंगाली, हिंदी, इंग्लिश एंड उड़िया में वो उसमें कुछ लिख के मुझे प्रेजेंट किए। तो वो मेरे लिए शायद मतलब आज तक का सबसे बड़ा सम्मान से भी बड़ा है। तो ये मेरे लिए सबसे बेस्ट मेमोरी है।
क्या बात है देवव्रता, सुपर्ब सुपर्ब। आपने पद्मा विभूषण गुरु सोनल मानसिंह जी के साथ भी काम किया है, राइट?
के साथ मैंने किया है, भारत मुनि सम्मान के टाइम में उनको प्रेजेंट दिया था एंड उनसे मुझे ऑनर मिला था एंड शी इज वन ऑफ माय गाइड आई मस्ट से। अगर मुझे विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग का लाइन मिला है, अगर मुझे नाट्य शास्त्र का नॉलेज मिला है, सो आई मस्ट से कि सोनल मानसिंह जी, संध्या पुरेचा, डॉक्टर संध्या पुरेचा ताई, इज द भारतनाट्यम नाट्य exponent and SN awarded, Deepak Majumdar. So these people have a lot of blessings behind me. For that, I can be a visual storyteller. सोनल मानसिंह जी के साथ बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा। ऑल्सो आई वर्क विथ संदीप सुपरकर सर। जब सोनल जी के साथ किया तब संदीप सर ने बोले व्हाई नॉट यू ट्राई इन बॉलीवुड जैज वेस्टर्न। वेस्टर्न का क्या हो रहा नहीं है, वेस्टर्न लोगों का क्या थिंग नहीं है। देन आई सेड आई कैन मस्ट डू ऑन दैट। तो मैं वेस्टर्न के फॉर्मेशन में भी किया, जो कि मुझे संदीप सर ने अपॉर्चुनिटी दिए थे। सो मेनी, इवन आई वर्क विद बिरजू महाराज जी, वो तो चले गए बट उनका मेमोरी मेरे पास अभी भी है। वो पास में बिठा है, लाइक वेरी पोलाइटली टॉक विथ मी, डिस्कस विथ मी कि क्या उनका आज प्रेजेंटेशन होने वाला है। वो मैं उनको बताने से पहले वो बोले अच्छा आप सूत्रकार हो, आप चित्र सूत्रकार हो, तो बहुत सारे कथक डांसर हैं जो डांस करते करते पैरों में भी करते हैं एंड कलर का डांस के साथ बहुत अच्छा रिलेशन है, जैसे म्यूजिक का डांस के साथ है। तो वो ही महाराज जी ही मुझे बहुत सारे थिंग बताए थे, जो कि आज भी मेरा काम में, टेक्निक में बहुत सारा यूजेस होता है। सो आई एम कम्प्लीटली ब्लेस्ड कि महाराज जी इतना टाइम निकाले एंड वो अंडरस्टैंड कर पाए। पहले जैसे लोग मुझे अंडरस्टैंड करते थे कि आज अ पेंटर, बट he is the first person who understand he is not a painter, he is not a dancer, he is not a musician, he has something own style, he has unique art form, that is visual storytelling. He is a sutrakara who connect the dance music art form in a canvas formation. So I have so much good memories with these legend artists.
वंडरफुल। इट फील्स लाइक कि अकेले खड़े हैं तो अकेले ही हैं, इतने सारे लोग आपके पीछे खड़े हैं तो ऐसे लगता है इतने सारे लोग, और आपके तो टीचर आपके यहाँ पे हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं खुद ही। तो मतलब कितनी ब्लेसिंग्स हैं आपके पास देवव्रता, यू आर एक्सट्रीमली लकी। तो एक और फटाफट बात बता दें कि आप मुंबई कैसे पहुंच गए उड़ीसा से, और यहाँ पे आके आपने कैसे सोचा कि ये कोई करियर बनाना है आपने इस चीज में। चलिए।
थिंग इज दैट कि एवरीथिंग इन डेस्टिनी में जो लिखा रहता है वही होता है। आज इलियाना मैम भी हैं, तो वो ब्रिटिश से उड़ीसा आ गए एंड मैं उड़ीसा से मुंबई आ गया। सो इट्स एवरीथिंग अबाउट द फैक्ट एंड डेस्टिनी। तो मैं मुंबई एक्चुअली जॉब के सिलसिले में ही आया था। लाइक मेरा एक्चुअली मैं मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर हूँ, उसके बाद आर्टिस्ट हूँ। सो मैं जॉब के पर्पस में आया था। तो जॉब के करने के टाइम में एक छोटा किस्सा बता देता हूँ। जब पूछे, जॉब करने के टाइम में मैं एक पेंटिंग एग्जीबिशन लगाया था, उसमें कुछ डिफरेंट फॉर्म ऑफ आर्ट किया था। बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट थे, तो बाल ठाकरे जी आए थे एज ए जज। तो वहां पे इतने सारे जन के बीच में 2015 में वो मुझे एक पेन दिए एंड बोले कि ये बंदा के पास कुछ यूनिक फॉर्म है एंड डेफिनेटली यू विल गो टू सर्टेन लेवल एंड लोग एक टाइम पे आपको जानेंगे। सो एवरीवन गॉट स्टन कि ये बच्चे का काम में क्या है, इतने बड़े बड़े आर्टिस्ट इधर स्टॉल लगा कर बैठे हैं, लाइन लगा कर बैठे हैं। सो दैट द थिंग स्ट्राइक इन माय माइंड कि क्यों बोले वो मुझे, डेफिनेटली समथिंग इज देयर बिहाइंड दैट। देन आई ट्राई टू मेक ओवर रिवॉल्व माई सेल्फ। देन मुझे स्टेप बाय स्टेप मिलता गया एंड आई थॉट कि बॉम्बे मुझे यहाँ पे खींच लाया एंड आई ब्लेस्ड कि यहाँ पे लक्ष्मी है, गणेश है, सरस्वती माँ है। तो ये कला का फील्ड ही है मुंबई, मुंबा देवी है। तो आई जस्ट कम, इट्स आई बिलीव इट्स इन माय डेस्टिनी। इट्स जस्ट एक्सीडेंटली आई कम ओवर हियर एंड डिड समथिंग।
बिल्कुल। शोभा जी।
हाँ जी, देवव्रता, at a such young age you have achieved so much. ये inborn qualities हैं कि आपने कुछ सीखा है? Is it by birth that you are doing as in from childhood, or it is something that you have learned over time?
एक्चुअली बाय बर्थ तो कुछ क्वालिटी था, बट इसके पीछे बहुत मेहनत है। मेरे टीचर है नीलांशु वाला, Sasmal, even when I was when I was kid, that time I learned from Rina Jenapa Odissi form. Then I left that classical dance form during child because of the study and all. And during schooling, even I put it into the music classes and all. So I have gone through all those things. And अगर आर्ट का इंस्टेंटली कुछ करना रहता है, उसके पीछे मेहनत है एंड प्लस बाय बर्थ कुछ क्वालिटी है. एंड आई पर्सनली बिलीव दिस इज द कर्म भूमि एंड यहाँ पे मेहनत से ही कुछ मिलता है, अगर कोई कला हो या क्वालिटी हो.
Awesome, awesome going. All the best for your future ventures. And you are really blessed, like Anu said, with so many people around you, blessing you all the time. So stay tuned, and we welcome our next guest on the show, who is not only so pretty looking, but also an excellent soul to be connected with. And she is Elena Sitaresti. Correct, Elena?
Namaskar. So in between I try to fill up my canvas because I feel we don't have much time. So
no, we have time. We have time, Debrata. Please hold on. Let me finish with Elena. Okay. So Italian by birth, Padma Shri Dr. Elena Sitaresti holds a doctorate in philosophy with a thesis on psychoanalysis and Eastern mythology. She has come to Indian dance after years of experience in traditional as well as experimental theatre in Europe. Elena has been living in Odisha, India since the year 1979. Oh my God, that's a long time. In close contact with the people, their language and culture. Her mentor in the Odissi dance style is the renowned guru Padma Vibhushan Kelucharan Mohapatra. She is equally at home with the different martial postures of the Chow dance of Mayurbhanji, which she has learnt under the guidance of Guru Sri Hari Nayak, obtaining the title of Acharya in 1985 from Utkal Sangeet Mahavidyalaya of Bhubaneswar in Odisha. Her contributions, besides many performances and lecture demonstrations given in all major countries in India, include articles on Odia culture published in Indian and foreign magazines, research for film documentaries on Odissi and Chow dances, and practical dance workshops for dancers and theatre workers, which he regularly conducts under invitation by different institutions in India and abroad. She has given performances in all the major dance festivals in India, as well as in Italy, Argentina, Poland, France, Germany, and the list goes on. Wow, Elena, welcome to Society Behind Wow, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Shoobhaa. Thank you, Shoobhaa.
So, Elena, I would really like to understand a little bit more about this journey and how come you chose India. What really, you could have chosen any country, and you have danced in many countries, and most of them are European countries over here, and of course Israel. But what made you come and stay here and be here and be part of our culture and part of us? I mean, when I look at you, I feel that you're more Indian than I am, to be really honest.
Well, I suppose India is unique, although there are many countries and many dances and many things around the world, but there is not a second India. So I hope Indian people realize how fortunate they are to be Indian and to be born in this place. So naturally for me, that time, when I was young, in the 70s and 80s, India was a big target. It was a place of pilgrimage almost, and so it was something that was offering something which the Western civilization was not. So There was spiritualism, there was mystery, there was mythology, there was the depth of experience and feelings. And so this is what we wanted to explore and to experience. And then, of course, the first trip which I did, it was just to experience. And then the second trip was related to searching for an expression through body. And so I was already doing some theater over there, but when I saw a Kathakali performance in Italy, I realized that India had this grammar so systematic of the body. And so I thought that I could utilize these movements by learning them and utilizing for my theater. But then the plan went differently. I didn't utilize the movement for something else. I just went deep and deep and deep into this system, because movements were not separated by the cultural background, the cultural which was around it. So, and it didn't happen Kerala. It was Kerala, my first approach. But then from Kerala, I got an indication towards Orissa, and then there I met my guru, and the search was over.
So where was your first trip, Ileana? To India, the first trip to India, before you actually came down to settle in India?
The first trip was 1974 by road. So
where in India?
I came by Istanbul, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Amritsar, first entry in Amritsar. Then I went to Dharamsala.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then I went through Khajuraho and Agra, and then I went to Nepal. Then I went to Aiole and Badami in the south. Then I went to Goa. So it was a mix of culture and hippie culture. And so that was the trip we used to call the trip. Then second time was in 78. And that time I came to Kerala to learn 3 months of Kathakali. And 79, I came with the intention of being here for 1 year to learn 6 months Odissi and 6 months Kathakali. But that year is still going on. So I never went back.
Awesome. Incredible, Ileana. Hats off to you as you carry so many hats so gracefully. So what inspired you to the mythology as a subject?
I have this kind of philosophical mind or something, and I did my thesis on psychoanalysis and Eastern mythology, because Jung, Carl Gustav Jung, is great psychoanalyst. After Freud, Jung is the most famous one, and Jung has opened to me the way towards the East, the Eastern thought and Eastern mythology, and so that was my first entry into this world, and then so after that, the theater and the body expression. So these two parallel interests which I had. One was the philosophical one, one was the expressive one. So these two got merged in this Indian dance. So that's why this synthesis of these two parallel things, which in the West had remained parallel, this happened here. Because Indian dance is not only physical, but it has a lot of philosophy and meaning behind. So these two things got together. And that's why I suppose this is what I was searching.
Great. So Ileana, you also have unconventional themes which you connect with traditional themes. And you also brought all this then to India, and you held various connection of East and West together. Can you give us some insight into where all did you, right from 1985 onwards, you've been speaking about, or you've been basically presenting the East and West merger. So can you give us a little bit more around that? Thank you.
Well, I suppose with the Chow dance, I started before that. Actually in 1986, I was here since 5-6 years. And there was this occasion of the East-West Dance Encounter, which happened in Bombay, organized by the Max Muller Bhavan. And there I did my first choreography, Echo and Narcissus. And it was on a Greek myth, and I utilized the Chow medium and with an electronic music. So that was really a synthesis of and I gave a psychoanalytical interpretation to the myth. but the form of expression of Chow. So it was really a synthesis of what I had done before in my previous life. I call it previous life before the second birth in India. And whatever I learned in these 6 years of physical training. So that was my first choreography. And it was Chow. Later on, I started with Odissi, much later. Odissi takes more time. Chow is a style which deals and offer itself for expansion, and it's very dynamic and really suggests a lot. Where Odissi is more defined and is more controlled, and maybe because I was in under Guruji, who himself was so Guru Kalucharan Mohapatra, who was so creative, so and so precise. So it took more time for me to start to choreograph on my own. But then after that, yes, I started and I did team. I dealt with team which were a little bit different. Like I did some choreography on the theme of the refugee and on the theme of Sutta, the textile, on the theme of the Mother Teresa. And so I suppose my upbringing of the Western, my previous upbringing and my previous formations comes into the creative process when I use the dance to create, to choreograph.
Ileana, Chow can be done solo or it has to be done in a team always? It can be done solo, right?
Yeah, all my experimental pieces were solo or also duet. And but I also did work with the Chow troupe of Mayur Banji, 10 dancers to do Panchabhuta. That was a 1 hour ballet, so we can call it a 1 hour thematic presentation on Chow. And it was quite innovative because for the first time, maybe these dancers were trained to be a little, they had excellent formation, but they didn't have the discipline on the stage. They didn't have the, so many things had to be streamlined and corrected and aesthetically make it more symmetrical. And so this work I did with them for this production and enriched them also because they had a new experience in this with this work. So Chow can be solo, can be group, can be is such a powerful tool of expression which can be utilized with new themes, new music, and as a space covering is incredible. So you can really choreograph a lot with the Chow.
Chow, when you say Chow ballet, how is it different from the normal ballet?
From the, yeah, ballet is actually a word which doesn't probably fit with the Indian dance. You can call it thematic composition, or it is. It was a 1 hour production, which was formed by different scenes, but it was, the theme was Panchabhuta and had a story, and more than story, it was a different aspect of this theme, which the Bhuta, the 5 elements, and so ballet, it can be called ballet because the Western ballet also are more or less like this. They have a thread behind a plot, and they are represented with the scenes which alternate with the group scenes, less dancers on the stage maybe, and then alternate, and it is a finale and as an entry. So it could be called ballet, but of course we always refer ballet to the Western dance more than to the.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to check. How is it different?
So Ileana, you also have won many awards and have had opportunity to work for the film industry as well as for Doordarshan. I would like to know a little bit more around the awards. You've also been given the prestigious title for the art of dance in Italy. So I would like you to give us a little bit more around that. What does your title really mean? How has your experience been with Indian industry as well as Doordarshan, and how is it different, and what is something that stays with you as a personal experience? Thank you.
Well, since you mentioned that, is the award which I got in Italy is Leonid Massin for the art of dance, and that was a very unique occasion because I think I'm the only exponent. Leonid Massin is is dedicated to Nureyev, the award, and it is in Positano. It's near Naples. It's an award which goes on for many years. And I was the only one performing Indian dance among all the ballet dancers, all the Western classical dancers, the modern, contemporary, classical. So, and that year when I got the award, I remember I did the Dasavatar item. And all these dancers were very, for them, it was the first time they were seeing such a dance, Odissi dance. And so it was quite unique as an experience. And then, of course, the Padma Shri Award, which Government of India gave, it was a great emotional moment for me to be recognized by such a great country and to be there in that the President of India. And so it was a big encouragement also. And of course, then there are maybe smaller awards which I get in Orissa, but very important to me because whenever you get something in your home, it's always very important. And sometimes it's more difficult to be recognized in the place where you are than to recognize from outside the place. So they are very meaningful and very moving. When any small organization in Orissa is recognizing and rewarding me. So this is how I feel a lot of warmth and a lot of affection around. And I am alone over there, but I never feel alone. I mean, it's alone in a sense. I don't have my relatives or anybody in Orissa, but Orissa is in a very special country inside India. So, and yeah, and the hospitality and the sense of yeah, it's a place where I don't know, you can really merge in the context and be
I feel you. I can
also.
actually feel it. I can actually feel when you say this that, you know, I'm never alone, and that brings such warmth in my heart. And I would really like to know how your experiences in the Bengali film that you've done for Doordarshan. I'm like, oh my God, how many experiences? But I would like to know more than your profile, and I would like to know more about your experience. What really touches you? What really makes you feel alive in this place, you know, when you're participating in the Bengali film industry, or you're at the Doordarshan, or you are standing on that stage in India and just being you, beautiful you are.
Well, standing and dancing on the stage, of course, is always for us the ultimate experience. But I should say also, when I did my first choreography in Odissi, and I was down in the public, I was sitting on the last row of the hall, and I was seeing my creation that was now done by the dancers, and for which I had worked so much. It was my first group choreography, Maya Darpana, in '96. And it was on the concept of Maya. So 1 hour work, and I was watching it, and I was so tense, much more than if I would have been on the stage to dance myself. I almost didn't breathe. And then when the program was over, and they called me on the stage as choreographer, not as dancer. That was a big moment. Yeah. So these are all small things which in the life it's a progression, no? New things which
going to the next level on every step.
Yeah.
Yes, Shoobhaa, over to you.
Yes, it was lovely listening to Ileana. And over to Debrata again. Debrata, through your visual storytelling, you predict a lot of things besides, of course, predicting the aura of a person and so on and so forth. So you're kind of a semi-astrologer, I can call you. So tell me something. how does that come to you? Does it come intuitively? Have you learned about it and the colors and the paints that you put on your visuals, or how does it all come? Because the little that I have known you in the past and the recent painting that you have given me for my portrait, okay, and you have spoken a lot. So I'm wondering, how is both these things connected? So can you explain to our viewers as well? Because I would, like others, would want to know that how is this predictions that you make is intuitive, or you've learned, or how do you just, talk about a person?
So it's a very wonderful and very informative question, Shobhaji, you asked me.
Yeah.
I guess people love to hear this answer because before to means go this visual storytelling.
तुम सबको बताते तो हो, ओके, प्रेडिक्शंस के बारे में, लेकिन तुम थोड़ा सा बता के ना फिर छोड़ देते हो उनको इंक्विजिटिव होने के लिए कि हाँ भाई और पूछो हमसे। तो ये बताओ कि इसका राज क्या है देवव्रता?
हाँ, तो मैं वही बता रहा हूँ। तो ये जो विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग का फॉर्मेशन है, तो ये मुझे एक्चुअली में हमारा वेदा से यजुर्वेदा, ऋग्वेदा, उसको उसका एक पर्टिकुलर पोर्शन है। वो पोर्शन के बाद फिर आई हैव गॉन थ्रू 27 उपनिषद, 16 पुराणास. I learned 16 Puranas, then I learned Nandikeshwara, then I learned Vishnu Dharmotar Puran. So these all things give me the gist about this concept of the visual storytelling, and इसके पीछे जो aura and the predictionable thing है, ये एक मीन्स आपका मैंने जब भृगु संहिता पढ़ा, इसके साथ रिलेशन किया, देन आई फाइंड आउट मेनी थिंग्स फ्रॉम देयर कि हाउ इट्स कनेक्ट विद द एस्ट्रोलॉजिकल थिंग, ऑरा थिंग एंड ऑल थिंग. सो आई ट्राई टू मेक इट मर्ज. मैं इसको कैसे मर्ज करूं एंड ऑल करूं, ये मेरे में एक मीन्स question tha. Then I go to Sandhya Purecha Thai, she direct me how you combine this all thing, and I have one means by birth I have sense, so I can easily find it out.
ये हुई ना असली बात, सिक्स सेंस है. हाँ.
Yeah, so by cause of that I can make it in a certain formation जिसमें सारी चीज का इंग्रेडिएंट, एक मैं केक आपको प्रेजेंट कर देता हूँ जिसमें आपको सारी चीज का थोड़ा थोड़ा फ्लेवर मिले, एक यूनिक टेस्ट लगे उससे.
बिल्कुल. मेरे को एक बात बताओ देवव्रता, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकन, तुम्हारी उम्र कुछ 25-30 के आसपास होगी?
या इट्स 27.
27 के एज में इतना उपनिषद और वेदास पढ़ के कुछ हमारे लिए पढ़ने के लिए छोड़ा है कि सब पढ़ लिया एक साथ ही?
एक्चुअली दिस इज अबाउट द पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट. तो इंटरेस्ट, मुझे पढ़ने का बहुत शौक है, लाइक दिस हिस्टोरिकल थिंग.
बहुत अच्छी बात है, एंड इट इज अ वेरी गुड लर्निंग्स आल्सो. सो बहुत अच्छी बात है, मैं तो ऐसे मजाक करी, बट आई वाज वेरी इंक्विजिटिव टू नो कि ये जो आपने मुझे बताया अपने पोर्ट्रेट के बारे में, सो आई वांटेड टू नो कि वो एस्ट्रोलॉजी से कैसे कनेक्टेड था. दैट वाज अ मेजर क्वेश्चन टू यू. तो ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच, एंड ओवर टू अनु.
Eliana, I want to understand a little bit more around, you've done major research, you've done research in martial art, you've written books. These are the things that you've done. But if I go back to your roots, to Russia, to
Italy.
sorry, you are from
Italy.
Italy.
So, sorry, I apologize for that. So when you're coming from there, how do your relatives over there, how did your mom and dad connect with all this? And when you're writing this book, how do you get inspired by your culture, your heritage, our culture over here? How are you putting it together? I mean, it feels like, it feels like a gift or a blessing that you have. And then you're giving us this gift or blessing with all your ancestors standing behind you and giving us something that's so precious. So I would really like to know what has really inspired you. How do you go about it? Thank you.
Well, this is a big question. Anyway, in everybody's life, I think there is a sort of continuity. And although mine, it looks like in two major parts, but naturally what I brought here when I continue my life here, I was bringing with me all the baggage or the luggage, which all the attitude, all the which I went through. And also this rebellion, which I went from when I was 16 years old onward, I was very a rebel. And so it's very contrasting also because I was such a rebel and I was not listening to anybody. I was against the Catholicism, against the major ruling parties in Italy. I was taking part of feminism revolution and drugs, not, I mean, everything for me, it was, I had to experience everything. I didn't, I didn't avoid any experience, whatever it was coming in my way. And like my trip, which I came to India that time. So it's all this rebellion brought me to finally what I was searching. And then at that point, I became quite submissive, and they were, so I became, I bent down to my guru's feet, and I was listening and I was obedient, something which I never did before coming here for the, but everything in life is important, and you have to live your life the way it comes to you, and not be afraid of anything. And but the fact that I was searching and I had the courage to search up to the end, that is important. And then of course my parents gave me a lot of, I mean, I was very precise and very also in a way they taught me to save and to not to spread. Waste money or time, and to go deep. And that I'm Scorpio, so I like to go deep into everything I do, and not easy sometimes. So I'm very faithful to whoever I choose to be with, or to the things which I'm doing. So all these things are part of the nature of a person, and so these qualities and these virtues, and also, of course, all of us, it's a lot of defects, but then sometimes as a single woman also, you have to be strong and aggressive, and maybe not very feminine. But I should say that all this was very much there when we rebelled in the feminist movement before coming here. And we were discarding everything, and all the feminine part of us was suppressed. But I rediscover it maybe here. And slowly, my aspects and my way of combing my hair, my way of dressing, my way of appreciating certain things was discovered here after coming to India. And my guru didn't impose all these things on me. It just happened on its own. If he would have imposed me, no, you have to dress different from the beginning, maybe I would not have been effective with me at that point. Slowly, the day, for example, that after some quite a few months that I was here, I had a lot of hair at that time. I gathered my hair. He just said, "Oh, finally I can see your face." Because before that, I was all with my curling hair around, and I was rejecting the fact that I have to get up in the morning and combing my hair. So all these things slowly came to have a meaning, and I appreciate the gold, I appreciate the sari, I appreciate, but it came on its own. So that was important. Otherwise, my nature at that time would have rebelled. Rebellion was not yet finished. So, and then regarding what kind of merging of the previous culture, of the Western culture with this culture, that is what I'm doing. That you have to see from my work, from my creative work. From there, you can see, I can make out how much that has enriched. Naturally, my input and my approach to creative work, to choreography and all these things will be on the guides which Guruji has given, but also according to my story and my Western background and my analytical mind and my way of seeing things. So this is the personal approach, which in my case, it's combining West with East.
Absolutely. And I love it when you're saying my journey, Tale of Two Birds, your own autobiography that you wrote. And when you talk about your rebel and you talk about how beautifully then you tamed your rebel into something so meaningful, it gives me an insight that the rebel is good. And
yeah, absolutely. It is needed. It is needed. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I would be.
It is the push. It is the push that you give your own self, right?
Yeah, naturally.
Absolutely. And if you were to now look at yourself, where you're a beautiful integration of that rebel with the tamed part of you. I mean, with someone who's so essentially, who's kind of, as you said, I groomed myself into something more feminine from something that was a rebel. What would you tell parents who have children who are very rebellious, who have children? Yes, I really would love to ask you this, because there's so many parents who suddenly look at their child who's rebelling and say, oh, you'll never become anything, or you'll never do anything. But you've been on both sides of the spectrum, and I would love to know your experience there.
Well, I don't have children, but I have students, which more or less could be my children. So I have faced the same thing. And sometimes I say, okay, I cannot impose on them something. I can just be an example. But because I know what it means to be young and to be at that age, and because I know that it's important that you have this kind of crisis or critical moments and the moments of rebellion or moments of, so I don't impose or I don't interfere more than beyond certain limits, because I remember that if somebody was doing that with me that time, I would never have listened. I would never have I would never have obeyed. So I give example of a life where you have where I'm focused now. I'm takes things with a certain depth, and don't make it superficially. I try to give this kind of values, but I cannot impose of them to change their life. That I can't.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautifully said.
Very well said, Elena. Very well said, Elena.
Yeah.
All right. So, Debrata, what society behind wow? This question is for both of you, Debrata and Elena. Society behind wow is all about learning and unlearning and touching the soul. So what is one message or one inspiration that you would like to give our viewers from your experience that they should follow in their daily life to be peaceful and happy within their soul limits, as in be happy with their soul? Let's start with Debrata.
I would like to start with Ileana, because she is my senior, and after her opinion, I will follow the path only. So
sure. Yes, Ileana.
Well, be always in touch with nature. I feel that it's very important, and the sound of the water, the fly of the birds, the green of the trees, all these things are very important, and I feel that people are a little bit forgetting about this, and this gives you always hope, new hope, and the rebirth and the things, a cyclic experience, and you know that there is always a hope of a new beginning, and so it gives you a certain assurance.
Great. So basically being with the nature, because
Yeah,
nature gives
observe
us
the nature
prana
and
and
listen,
it
listen to the nature, listen to the sound of the nature, listen to,
Yeah.
watch the nature. So don't detach yourself from the nature. Nowadays, this mobile and from internet and all these things being in the town, and so you lose these contacts, which is very
Correct.
essential.
Correct. Thank you so much, Ileana. Yes, over to Debrata.
I must say कि Ileana ma'am recently said the inspiring from the nature. That is absolutely true. I also feel same thing, because nature is one tattva who inspired you a lot. When dance, art, culture means nothing was there. That time nature was there, and people inspire from the nature and the formation of all three. जैसे मैं बताऊंगा कि लोपामुद्रा डांस को एक फॉर्मेशन दिए, मुद्राज को इनोवेशन किए बिकॉज ऑफ द डियर. हम डांस में देखते हैं कि सिंगामुका है, मुर्गा शीर्षा है, सर्प शीर्षा है, त्रिशूला है, दिस एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम द नेचर. तो अगर एज एन आर्टिस्ट हम नेचर की तरफ झुकावट रहेंगे तो उधर से ही हमको बहुत ज्यादा पॉजिटिव वाइब्रेशन मिलेगा, रियल एनर्जी मिलेगा, जिसके थ्रू हम ये सोसाइटी को भी एनर्जाइज कर पाएंगे. एंड सेकेंड थिंग ऑलमोस्ट कि जैसे इलियाना मैम बोले कि नाउ डेज हमारे, मैं जब बचपन में स्कूल में पढ़ता था, मेरे स्कूल में बताते थे कि सुबह उठने के बाद आपका हाथों को देखो, समुद्र वसने देवी पर्वते स्तन मंडला विष्णु पत्नी नमस्तुभ्यम पादस्पर्शम क्षमस्वमे, ये बोलो. बट आजकल सुबह उठते ही हाथों में मोबाइल आ जाता है, तो वो समुद्र वसने देवी तो कंप्लीटली लॉस्ट समवेयर. तो दैट द थिंग. तो we must means हम कितने भी टेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर घुस क्यों ना जाए, बट हमको हमारे रूट को पकड़ना चाहिए, चाहे वो नेचर हो, चाहे वो प्लेस हो, चाहे वो हमारे पुराने फ्रेंड्स हो. So these all energize us so much. So this is my message to all.
Very, very well said. Very well said, both of you. Thank you so much. It was a great message to all our viewers that whatever happens every day for some time, at least connect to the nature. Be it water, be it plant, be it sky, anything, but connect to the nature, connect to your roots. Thank you so much. And over to Anu.
ऐसे नहीं लगता आपको शोभा जी कि दो इतने बढ़िया परफॉर्मर्स यहाँ हैं और हम उसका फायदा नहीं उठा रहे हैं? मतलब कुछ तो होना चाहिए ना इन दोनों के साथ.
बिल्कुल ऐसा लगता है, बिल्कुल ऐसा लगता है.
हाँ, मार दिया जाए कि छोड़ दिया जाए, बोल इनके साथ क्या सलूक किया जाए. बिल्कुल इनसे ऐसे मतलब ऐसे ही छोड़ देंगे इनको?
ना, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं, ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता.
क्या सजेस्ट करती हैं आप, क्या करना चाहिए?
इन दोनों की एक जुगलबंदी हो जाए तो मजा आ जाए, है ना. मतलब इलियाना मैम की डांस और देब्रता की विजुअल स्टोरी टेलिंग का एक कॉम्बिनेशन बने तो फिर तो बात ही क्या कहने. तो हो जाए. यस इलियाना, रेडी?
Let's see what I can do in this position. I'll be sitting and let me see how much I can.
अरे वाह, सही है.
Just one stanza from the last song of Gita Govinda, Purya Dunandana. When Radha says to Krishna to put the chandan sandal pattern on her breast because they've been erased from the love making. It is the last stanza after their union has happened, and then so I'll just say I'll just do the first stanza of this 24th song of Gita Govinda, Purya Dunandana.
Okay, great. Debu, are you ready?
I am ready, but आज मैं एक सीक्रेट फॉर्म ऑफ आर्ट करने वाला हूँ, जो कि इलियाना मैम अभी बोले कि गीता गोविंदा. मेरे दिमाग में इसके कुछ नहीं था कि क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा. So whatever the formation will come, I will just put it over here, and जैसे ही उनका formation khatam hoga, then I will explain my story behind the Ilyana mudras and the auras and the concept. So I try to make her Radha because ये गीता गोविंदा है, तो उसी के हिसाब से उनको एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन में इसमें दूंगा.
Superb, fantastic. So let's
मैं
begin.
एलेना मैम को डाल रही हूँ बिग स्क्रीन पे.
Yeah.
हाँ जी.
Is in spotlight. एक सेकेंड. हाँ जी.
She's not on spotlight, Anu.
She is in spotlight.
She's in spotlight.
Beautiful. Thank you.
It calls a big round of applause for Elena. Beautiful, beautiful,
you.
lovely.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Elena. It was very, very nice to watch your expressions and your mudras and the beautiful postures. Thank you. Elena, I just want to tell you while Devrata is finishing his sketch, just wanted to tell you that in the month of August, okay, I am planning a synergy of dance and fusion, okay, and it's called Timeless Textures, all right, in which I definitely would like to see your chow performance.
Okay.
So I'll connect with you further on this. Okay.
Okay.
Are you going to be back in India soon?
I'll be back on the 5th of June.
Oh, great. So once you're back, probably we can connect then. And there are going to be all different forms, not only Indian classical, but even Western, Bollywood, ballet, belly, all dance forms. It's a fusion of dance and fashion. So because Bharatnatyam, Kuchipudi, and all other dance forms are already there, and of course, one performance of each. So chow is something that I definitely would like you to, either choreograph and get your students to perform, or if you can perform yourself. And that was my question to you when I asked you, can you perform solo? You know. So
Yeah.
just wanted to check how comfortable you are. So we'll connect on this post you're back in India after
Okay.
5th of June.
Sure.
All right. Thank you so much. Debrita, are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, superb.
Just a minute. Just a
Superb.
minute. Add spotlight.
Okay.
Spotlight, yes.
So quick.
So this is the means visual storytelling. एक small प्रस्तुति है एक small canvas में because time is very less. So इसके time में ये small canvas में इतना ही हो सकता है. मतलब from my end I can do this much best. So this is about the today thing about the Ileana ma'am and thing. So why I am taking the orange color background, because though I believe we are in Mumbai, so this is the Ganesha Kshetra. So here Ganesha is the Pradhanya. So I have taking blessing from the Ganesha, that is from the Ganesha and the Maruti color over here. And then we start the wow. So wow is a platform which is not only about the mental health and not only about the combination, it about the happiness, it about the joyness. And today also Ileana ma'am performed the portion of the Gita Govinda. So as I said before, so I create Ileana ma'am as a Radha, and I show her different direction of the rasa and the tattva in 4 direction of the color, that is the blue one, yellow one, the orange one, and the red one, where I can see the colors. And you can see here the Krishna Morpankha also there, because this is about the immersion, because the foundation of means the thing of the means if I say कि राधा और कृष्ण दोनों अलग हैं but वो एक ही हैं, because अगर मैं माँ को पहले जाके नमन करता हूँ तो मेरा पिताजी को नमन हो जाता है, because हमारे शास्त्र में लिखा है कि अगर आप पहले पार्वती का दर्शन करते हो तो शिव का आधा दर्शन कर लेते हो, because both are परिपूरक. So in this case also Radha is nothing about the Golaka Swamini. Radha is about the Swamini of the Krishna. So today I presented through this about my storytelling about the Gita Govinda, some portion, and the colors and the radiation from the auras of Ileana ma'am, which also tends her personality, also tends her abhinaya, also tends her mudras, bhava, and the tattva.
Great, great.
Beautiful.
Fantastic
So,
job done, Debrita.
I asked Ileana ma'am कि ma'am आपको अच्छा लगा the presentation?
Yeah, sure. It's incredible. You did it so fast. So many things you put inside.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So, Ileana,
to
we would like to listen a little of your Hindi. Talk to us in Hindi.
No, I can speak in Oriya. My Hindi is too bad.
We would like to hear some
Oriya कोई पर भी माने मो हिंदी बहुत थोड़ा बोलूंगी समझे सब समझे लेकिन अभ्यास नहीं बोलने के लिए
Acha. So Odisha is what you can speak, but Hindi you cannot speak fluently, is it?
No, because in Orissa there is no need of Hindi, so it's Oriya or English. So Hindi, I don't have the practice, but I listen. I listen so I can understand, but no chance to practice much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Over to Anu.
So thank you very much, both of you. And thank you, Shoobhaa, Arya, for creating such a wonderful program. And Dr. Anu Mehta would like to sign out now, and would really like to thank you before doing that, because it's amazing when people can touch lives. And with you, Elena, I just feel it's like not only did you touch people's lives, but life has touched you in many forms. And I feel with Debrata, it's like as if he floats and plays holy every time. He's looking at people perform. And, when people are so lost in the color and so lost in the love of their guru and with what they are learning around with it, it's such a blessing. I feel very humbled that you've allowed us to interview you.
My honor,
and you.
my greatness. And
Super
I got
performance by both of you, and it was a real great pleasure having you both on the hot seat of Society Behind Wow. Thank you, Anu, for the lovely evening. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Debrata. And see you next week with some more interesting personalities, some more interesting stories. Until then, stay blessed, stay happy, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.